Hey there, welcome everyone to the Rebel Hour, your monthly dose of marketing clarity served straight up. My name is Yasmine Robles, and I am joined by Izzy Dadosky, and we're from Rebel Marketing. And this is really the space for you to vent, to ask your questions, to get unstuck. And it's just like therapy, I would say. And you can always submit questions ahead of time. But today we do have Cathy here with us. Cathy, why don't you tell us a little bit about your business and your coaching?
Okay, thanks, Jasmine and Izzy, for having me. Cathy Lindemann, I own Evolution Creative Solutions. I worked here before. I was a chemistry teacher, came to work here part time, ended up going full time, and then purchased the business. So I've owned it for 14 years now. And so Evolution does print apparel and promotional products. So we want to make small businesses look big and big businesses feel like they're the own client. And then I also, because of my teaching background, have a coaching business and speaking business where I talk to people about delegation and having joy without the dollars.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you want to talk about your card deck, or is that still a secret?
No, my card deck it's out there. So my first thing that I developed was hats off to delegation. I created a deck of cards where small businesses could start laying out the roles that people play in a small business because corporates have a very clear defined structure and small businesses do not because many people wear 2, 5, 10, 15 hats, and so I tried to create a deck of cards where people could lay out the cards and just decide who was going to wear that hat for how long, what the standards were to make sure that everybody was on the same page. And then you could pass the cards back and forth. Um, to me, it kind of works like a promotion because it's hard to give promotions inside small business. So when I have an employee that really wants to learn something new, I'm like, okay, great. Why don't you hold this card? This is the minimum standard. You can hold it for a month or two if you like it for longer. And then you get to learn something new. And so people are constantly refreshed inside my business because they're trying something new.
That's awesome. All right. So, do you want to jump into your questions
Yes.
and we can brainstorm? Okay. So, the first question that you submitted was that you feel like you're doing the quote unquote right stuff, but the impact seems to be very little. And how can you raise awareness of your business, of your company, so that your marketing efforts are more effective in gaining customers? Do you want to tell us a little bit more so that we can support?
Yes. So let's start with evolution. So evolution had zero marketing material when I started. So nothing. We're a printing company, so we printed postcards. Then I think we've got a website. We may have had a website before, but I don't necessarily believe so. I think it was created while I worked here. And so I think now we're on like our third rendition of our website. I still feel like it's difficult to navigate, but we have to do so many things. It's difficult to navigate. We hold in person events. We do lots of email blasts to get people to the events, but the attendance is pretty small. We have our social media where we are constantly posting, um, trying to get people engaged, but I can't seem to figure out how to break the nut of getting it to scale so that friends and family aren't the only ones that are following us.
Okay.
So I
So,
feel like I spend a lot of time. I don't spend a lot of money, but I spend a lot of time trying to get my marketing out there.
mhm. All right, Izzy, I have some questions, but Izzy, do you want to jump in?
You could go first.
Okay. So you're doing, just to make sure we understand, you're doing events, you're kind of doing a lot of the different things that people tell others to do. Which one has, I guess, what's the ultimate goal here? Is it like a big client to place an order? Is it just more brand awareness, more people in the funnel? What's the main goal?
So I would say originally it was just for awareness, but I
Mhm.
think people just don't use us. They don't follow us. They don't. And so our in person is starting to get a little bit of traction. And so now I have awareness, but now I find out that they come, they do the in person, and then they go to their original supplier. and not me.
Ah,
So
yeah.
trying to figure out how to raise awareness, but really get orders. Like I really want
Hmm.
people to buy
Yeah.
into what we do and buy what we do.
Yeah. 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 It's fun getting that brand awareness, but then, the lights have to be kept on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Exactly.
All right. And then you've tried a couple of different things. Have you tried, okay, I'm just gonna run down the list. You mentioned social media, you mentioned some postcards, your website. Um, have you done any ads?
We don't do ads. That generally the problem with ads I is if I do print, I run up against like FedEx Kinkos. And so you
Mm,
just can't throw enough money
yeah.
to get over Vistaprint, 4M print, FedEx Kinkos. So my
Yeah.
ads can't be targeted enough. I have, if I could find somebody that could successfully help me, we have an e-commerce platform that's pretty niche. And I think if I could figure out the way to run an ad on that, I could run an ad, but I definitely can't do it on, hey, get your business card printed because
Hmm.
Vistaprint and 4M are going to kill me on all that.
Yeah. So who's your ideal, like who would you jump up and down super excited in the office if you got them as a client?
So companies that have between 2 and 10,000 employees, because we have an e-commerce platform that works where the marketing department can control all the brands, supply chain can control the delivery, accounting can control the way it's billing occurs. And so we want companies that constantly have a need to be
Hmm.
on there. So we have the platform where we have only one user and they love the platform. But really, for us, we need to print more than one business card every 6 months. So we need to have a
Yeah.
company that's got 2 to 10,000 people printing business cards, needing ink pens, needing supplies.
Yeah. So would it be safe to say somebody like like who would be utilizing that platform? Would it be somebody from HR? Would it be somebody,
Everyone,
the marketing team?
every
Okay.
everyone. So we're in the healthcare space. So
Hmm.
every employee at Christ Hospital can order their business cards, appointment cards, their brochures, their
Okay.
notepads, their apparel that they need, their promos that they need. Um, and so St. Elizabeth can do the same thing. Like the marketing department holds it as a repository.
Hmm.
Metzer Construction, Turner Construction, they have their standard signage on there so that when they go to build another building or do a remodel, they know this is the standard signage that I need to buy. And so we're kind of that place where they can go and they know they're getting the exact branded items that they have to have legally for, and part not necessarily legally, but what Messer wants them to put at a site for safety.
Mm. And you are local, correct me, I'm probably wrong. You
Oh,
Cincinnati?
so well, we're located in Cincinnati, but I ship across the country.
Okay,
So I
perfect.
do nonprofits. So I do Easter seals. And so their 69 affiliates can all personalize their envelopes, their branded material. And then I ship it across the country. Oh,
I was yeah, he's shy today. Okay, so so looking at the different people that can come in and you're looking for 2 to 10,000 uh, s- employee companies, when you've gotten those companies as clients, what has worked so far? Is it more like I guess, what's the process for your line of industry? Is it more like an RFP? Is it like you actually met someone at like a WeBet conference and then that's a better connection, a warmer lead? How does that work for your business?
yeah, definitely a referral. Probably our most successful is when an employee leaves and goes to another company. And then they're like, oh, I've got the perfect person for this. And they're aware of what we do. So that tends to be our best. We don't do a ton of RFPs because the corporations that do RFPs, oddly enough, are even bigger than that.
Hmm.
And so some companies in the 2 to 10,000 would do an RFP, but it would be a pretty small one.
Yeah.
a pretty small RFP, and they probably wouldn't choose me over price. It would have to be because they want all the value add that I
Hmm.
offer.
Yeah. And when you are creating this package for them, does it come down to widgets like I'm getting this many for this much, or do you position it more as a strategic? Because I know some promotional products companies, it's more of like that concierge white glove service versus you can get the water bottle anywhere else.
Yeah, so that's actually what we say is that we have an e-commerce system with white glove service. So we have everything out there that the company wants you to be able to have. But then if you have the one off, then we're going to create that. And
Hmm.
so we have a very big blend of both. I mean, I have 5 customer service that take care of people of things that are not online, and 80% of our work comes online.
Okay.
So it's a
All right.
good blend between both.
Yeah. Have you done any work with um, whether it's local or national SEO?
No.
What is the biggest, what social platform do you tend to focus on?
Uh, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn are the only 3 we use,
Okay. All right.
and we
And I know
do
that,
3
mhm,
posts a week, mostly.
yeah. What, I guess, what's the strategy behind those posts?
I don't know if there's a strategy. That's probably why I'm here because I'm kind of looking. So we do our website to keep our website constantly fresh. We put out between 5 and 10 case studies of things that we do each month. And so we're constantly writing just these little tiny things like what was the customer's problem? What was our
Mhm.
creative solution? Or what offerings did we do? Because lots of times we just get into, well, we have these 5 options. Which option do you want? And then what the final product was and how it worked out.
Mhm.
So we do 5 to 10 of those every month. And so our Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn all do those. We'll go back and do some of the old ones again, just so we're constantly
Yeah.
bringing those forward. And then we are also focused on um, what holidays are coming up or what
Mhm.
days are coming up. And so we'll do promotional products. Like we may do um, St. Patrick's Day in January because we're trying to tell people like,
Yeah.
what do you need for January? So Nurses Week is the first week of May, but we're really in March putting
Mhm.
out Facebook things and social media posts about what all the nurses need and trying to get them focused on that. So we constantly have what we've done and then what are available on there. And every once in a while, we'll do a poll like, hey, would you rather have an e-pen or a bag or a coffee cup? But honestly, we don't get much traction out of them and
Mhm.
we find them to be more work. So maybe help on how to do that effectively, how to get engagement on that.
Yeah. Okay. Um, well, I think of some more questions. Izzy, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, so which I've taken a look at like all of your socials, but which do you think have you received any leads from any of these so far, or is it just straight from the website?
Probably none.
Okay.
Facebook, I would say I get probably the most questions, but most of the times the questions are not leads that I actually want.
Hmm.
Uh, they're so one of our things is we want to work with small businesses. He would work with you all in a heartbeat, but I don't want to work with the guy that's in his basement that just wants one thing printed.
Yeah.
Um, and I tend to get that because I'm constantly showing what custom things we can do. So it drives that. And I get no business at all that's got a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't get any corporations that are like, hey, that sounds great. I think I'll use it.
I guess my other question is it's like I see a lot of like different graphics that you're using. Have you ever branched out to do like videos or anything like that?
We've tried. Can you tell it can in your marketing, can you tell me how to do that really easy?
So for example, if like you just put up your phone, it doesn't even have to be edited if you don't want to, but just like if you had a new product come in that you guys were offering or something, and you just walk them through how it could promote their business, um, that could be something. Um, because videos, especially on LinkedIn, are uh being promoted more nowadays. Also, I've been telling a lot of people that LinkedIn is now promoting um not only the business, but the individual who posts on LinkedIn more than 3 times a week. So, like, they want you to post 3 times and then they want you to comment twice, I believe. And then they start putting you in other people's algorithms more. So it helps get your impressions up, maybe your engagement. That's more depending on what you're posting, but it's going to reach more people regardless, because that's just how LinkedIn's operating nowadays. So they've been changing their rules a lot, but we've been seeing a lot of success with that so far. Um, Instagram stories, we see a lot of engagement too, especially if it's something like you were talking about being a part of Webeck. Was it Webeck?
Well,
If you're highlighted for something that you do in Webeck, those posts tend to get a lot of recognition versus if you're just posting the same content over and over again. So, like, for example, Yasmine was just shown in the Columbus Small Business um, account. I can't remember, but it's through the government. But they decided to highlight her, and we already have likes on that story because it's at least personal to the brand. A lot of times nowadays, people want to know who is behind the company before they work with them, especially when it comes to small businesses. So if there's anything that you could do to like highlight you or your team, I think that is going to one increase a lot of engagement and also have those people that are around you um more motivated to share even like stuff from their company. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
Yasmin, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I think although Instagram is nice because you can put a lot of videos, photos. Facebook, you seem to be gaining some momentum, but it's not necessarily the right people. I think LinkedIn, if you put your focus and your strategy mostly on LinkedIn, that would be
mhm,
great. My other question was, if you're focusing on LinkedIn, let's say you do a video, you do some behind the scenes, and you also probably don't want it to just be your face all the time. I agree with putting in some of your, whether it's your salespeople or behind the scenes, meet the team. What is the team that is on LinkedIn? Um, what is their, I guess, depending on their role, are they, if you're sharing all of this on the business account, resharing and commenting and like reposting with thoughts, their own thoughts, can also help drive engagement. And then just my first thought was to start borrowing other people's audiences. So kind of like how you came here, we're going to edit the video, we're going to post it and tag you in it, right? Um, Borrowing other people's audience. You spoke at the Webeck. I don't know if you got like a recording of that, but if they basically getting featured in other people's stuff, it has to be the right audience, obviously.
mhm,
So whether it's Webeck, Nabo, getting in front of them and borrowing their audience, especially if it's something that is recorded, that is evergreen, like a podcast, maybe. And then you can ask, hey, are you going to link back to my website? Um, that is important too. So if you're going to put all this work into it, you want those links back to your site. You can even give them a special link. So that you can give them a UTM link. And then when you're looking at your analytics on your site, you can see, okay, well, it's not just traffic from the cloud. It's traffic from this particular episode we did with like Market Like It's Hot, or we did with whichever one. Um,
okay, wait, time out.
yeah,
I have questions.
yes,
You said link back to the website. I don't know what that means. And then you said some other
yeah,
kind of special thing. I don't know what that is. So
yes.
since we're talking live, explain it to me and all the audience that's listening.
Yeah, yeah. So, just linking back to your site. So, let's say you get featured. We have the podcast Market Like It's Hot. We're going to ask you for like your bio, links that you want to promote, things like that. So you could just send people to your homepage. That's totally fine. You could also create a special link, and this can be done through bit.ly,
Mhm.
bit.ly. You can also, I think if you Google it, I don't remember the exact domain name, but you can Google, literally Google link, custom link generator, and maybe you can put in the acronym UTM. um, it's free. All you do is pop in, let's say it is your homepage. You pop in your homepage and then you fill out the form that they have and they generate a special link. It still goes to your homepage. But let's say you go to a WeBet conference and you're printing out flyers. Now you can put that QR code with that special link on the flyer, and when you look at your Google Analytics, you can start to see, okay, the one labeled Webeck flyer got 20 hits. So how many of those flyers did you hand out? How many people attended the event versus how many hits you got to your website, and did anyone convert? Or are there returning users? So if did they does it look like they went into the QR code multiple times? So they must have been interested. So now you can start, if you're tracking this stuff, not to get too nerdy, but if you're tracking the analytics, you
Mhm.
can now start to say, okay, is it the messaging that's on the site? Like they followed the QR code, they went through the site, but they didn't fill out the contact form, right? Is it that they weren't ready yet? How can we capture them as a lead, even if they're not ready? Does that support, Kathy?
Yes, that helps. And we actually do those QR codes. I just didn't know what you were talking about. It was language that I didn't realize, but we do have
Yeah.
like special QR codes because we won
Yep.
to have a bus wrap, and we
Yep.
wanted to know if our bus wrap ever had anybody
Hmm.
scan a QR code. So yeah, so we do
Yeah.
QR codes that are special to certain
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to just be a QR code, but like that link that you
Yeah.
use, you can share it. Um, and then what I said before about borrowing other people's audiences, just like looking at, I mean, you're in the business realm, like who has a podcast that might be a good fit for the business? And you can pitch them, you can tailor the pitch if you want. Um, it's more footwork and it's slower growth, but it's a bit more organic. And when it starts to build upon itself, that's
Hmm.
when it gets expensive. Um, you mentioned case studies. I like that you're doing case studies. You mentioned that they're short blurbs. How short are we talking?
Read in under a minute.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
I would
probably
say,
300 words or less. I don't know. I can pull up my
okay,
website. Well, I can't pull up my website on this,
no,
but
you're fine.
they're all short, but not so short that it's like
Yeah.
it's a brochure. It goes through and it tells who the company is. So we always
Hmm.
tag the company
Yeah.
and tell what they used it for,
Yeah.
and then kind of give what was special about it. So it's
Yeah.
not super long. It's not like a 10-page thing, but it's
Hmm.
this long on a sheet of paper.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, Izzy can talk more about like the SEO. I would say making it strategic and at least finding out some key phrases that you can place into those. So that if I am, let's say I am HR and they told me that I don't know, every year, every quarter, whatever, we need to hand out gifts for clients. I don't know. We need something done.
Yeah.
And then I just happen to Google it. Even if I'm an HR, let's say I'm HR coordinator, I Google it, and then what kind of gifts, what kind of examples does your company bring? Ideally, your company, if this is the correct keyword, would be populated on page one of Google, showcasing this case study. So it's not just going to be a suggested product. It's going to be literally, this is what we did for this company. Their goal was XYZ items for their, I don't know, whatever
Yeah.
print items that they wanted. Um, because, and it's again, it's this slow growth with SEO, but it will help build upon itself. I don't know, Izzy, if you want to talk or go deeper into SEO, because it's like an iceberg.
Yeah.
Mm.
So a lot I would focus on local SEO the most out of anything. I already read some of the copy on your website and it looks like there are some keywords on there. But a lot of times when people don't want to keep updating their website for these keywords, they'll create blog posts. Um, and the thing about the blog post is it's like if it's it's almost Halloween. Okay. So like let's use this as an example. So if somebody had to order these certain gifts for Halloween for their company and they were like looking up what to send on Halloween. You could have a whole blog post about it and then be able to link all of those products within it. But then you're not changing everything on the website as well. So then you can see, did that blog post help us get sales during this time? And then you could also repeat that for the next year as well. Just like change it a little bit and then just different things like that. Or if people are looking for certain industries too, you could write a blog post like what to uh I'm blanking today. Like what to give out at trade fairs if I'm a tech company. Like there's different ways to think about how other people are thinking, especially if you are trying to target a certain industry. So if you were going for like a larger corporation or if you're going for a bank, like there's different ways that blog posts and the copy on your website can be changed to like fit that person that you're trying to go after. So
So
Mhm.
with the blog post, um, are you saying basically like write an article? Because I would have said that our case studies were really like what we would call a blog. Um, so you're saying write an article and then put the article in an email newsletter? Like, how do I get that people to read that article?
you can put it in an email newsletter. Also, just it can all you can post it on your socials as well. Just be like, check out this new blog post that we've created.
Does it
Um,
reside on our website as well? Or is it something outside of our website trying to drive people to our website?
I was gonna say it depends on how you want that flow to go. So you could, for example, it could be something from you, Kathy, and you can do an article on LinkedIn and then link back to your website. Some people will do just on their site and they'll promote it on social media. Um, it would be cool if you're putting this much work into it for a really SEO focused article. I don't know. Let's take annual reports, right? Those need always to be printed and they need to be nice, and especially in the medical field. So if you're doing an annual report, you can write up like the importance of an annual report or whatever, something that we would do the research on those keywords and what the audience would be looking for, and you can post that on your site, but then you can take snippets of it and post it on social media. You can then, it depending on your bandwidth, because this all sounds like it's going to be time consuming, but depending on your bandwidth, you can actually do a video, even if it is a 3-minute video of the highlights, and then repurpose that. You already wrote the script, basically. You have
Sure.
that blog post. So now you can create a couple videos based on literally what you wrote and post those on social media. And video does a lot better than just kind of tossing that link to the blog article in there. The blog article, I would say people are lazy. They might not read, they might scan, but the bots would scan it. The bots would read through it, right? As a human, I would probably look more at that video summary, and because I get to know you or whomever it is on that video, that talking head, I get to know your business, especially if you have examples. If it is an annual report, you get to have examples in the video to show some of the products that you created and why it's important, what the process was, whatever that article focuses on. Um, do you have any thoughts on that?
no, I agree with you.
Yeah. And
What you said.
then Kathy, yeah, Kathy, you mentioned email newsletters. Do you create newsletters, regular newsletters for your folks?
So we don't. When we host
Okay.
an event 4 times a year, and we send out 3 emails to get people to come to the events, it would be easy for us to slide in other information into that
Hmm.
email. Um, I'm not a huge believer because I go through and delete probably 30
Hmm.
emails every day that people are spending time sending me a newsletter.
Yeah.
So I feel like I only want to send a newsletter if it's got something that um, is really like time sensitive right now. I
Hmm.
mean, I have a pretty extensive email list. I probably get
Yeah.
emails from like 5,000 people, um,
Hmm.
but I don't feel like emailing them every month to just say,
Yeah.
hey, here's the latest thing, unless
Hmm.
research could prove to me that that was,
Hmm.
the way to go. And it's all
Do you,
just spaghetti because I have no background in marketing and I'm the one that has driven it since day one and I know nothing. So I'm so happy to have you all here.
yeah. Okay, so a few questions. Do you segment your list? Like, do you have tags or like these people are in the medical field or these people will their affinity to purchase this product? These people have never purchased these people and are somehow on the list. Maybe they're partners that you have brought on. Are they segmented?
Um, no, but they could be pretty easily, I think.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think
Okay.
our I would say that in all of my knowledge of marketing, our biggest gap is that we don't capture emails to that of potential clients. Like
Hmm.
most of the people that we email are people that have done work with us, and we're
Hmm.
trying to get them to do more work with us.
Yeah.
But I would say
So
that we're at a 0.1% of potential clients that we're actually making contact with.
mhm. So the way I see, if you just take social, website, and email marketing, social gets eyes on and potentially links back to your site. The site gets people to trust you. And ideally, whether or not I am a client, I will hop on your email list because that's really, I've basically given you, like, let's say my home address in hopes that you don't spam me, right? And I feel the pain of like not wanting to eat. We're not going to tell you to send them a weekly email newsletter because they probably don't need it, but if you can segment them, even if you send them, let's say if you tag people in medical, let's just say medical, you can set and you know that something is happening in the industry where they might be needing certain things. I think you mentioned like National Nurses
Yeah,
Day. Yeah,
absolutely.
you can send them that. They find that valuable, right? I as a marketer, if I was on your email list, I'd be like, okay, thanks, delete.
Exactly.
But if you're
Unsubscribe. You're sending me crap I don't
yeah,
want.
yeah, but if you're segmenting them, right? Or if I'm a partner, like if I am somebody that has referred business to you and I'm on your list, you can then send me specific things like, hey, even it could be a letter from Kathy or whatever you want to call it, but it could say, hey, share this, forward this email to somebody you know that is in this type of field, whatever it is that your call to action is. Um, but yeah, I would definitely delete an email if it wasn't something that was in my industry or in my clients' industries. So if it is like a case study that is about, give me one case study. Like what was one of them?
A banner for the top of a building.
The what?
Like
I'm sorry.
a banner at the top of a building. Like
Okay,
you
cool.
wouldn't need
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Facility people would need that. People
yeah,
that handle
yeah,
facilities would need that.
yeah.
Marketing would need that.
Yeah. So then if you have people tagged, you can just send them that newsletter and they that way they only get the one newsletter a month or per quarter. You're not bombarding them, but it's actual value. I would worry about just sending one email per quarter because I don't know about you, but I meet so many people that I forget which company was which. I might just that might be the email that I end up deleting, and then I won't get another one from you for another quarter. So if I can get something a little bit sooner, doesn't have to for sure be every month, but a little bit more frequently, I can keep you top of mind. Um, you can also test the subject line. I think the subject line is one of the most important things, obviously, because it
Mhm.
gets people to open it. Um, and then pictures. People love imagery. I'm sure you have a ton of imagery, um, and then giving some kind of call to action, whether that is you mentioned you have events, or if I'm on your list and I can't make it to your event because it's in Cincinnati or wherever it ends up being, maybe actually I would love to see like behind the scenes, like when you were speaking at the Webeck stuff. I don't know if you did this, but like if you take a selfie You can become the selfie queen. And that gets put on the newsletter, right? What's Kathy been up to this month? I would definitely open that. So there's some people that email me, and I know at the bottom of their email, there's like what our team has been up to. And sometimes it's a funny photo. And that's the only reason I open their email.
In the box of the film.
Yeah. Does that support? I don't know if that.
Yeah.
But email is gold. Email, like you can, and if they've already been a client and you tag them as having been a client before, it's easier to get them to repurchase than trying to get someone new.
Okay, so I feel like that's more on my plate. And I already wrote too many colors. So back to my hats off the delegation, I hold too many
Yeah,
colors.
yeah.
So how does Rebel help me implement some of this? Like, what am I responsible for, and what are you responsible for when all of it starts going down?
Yeah, well, thank you. We didn't even have to pay you for that transition. Um,
Well, feel
well,
free.
yeah, yeah. I'll Venmo you later. Um, so I guess so we're pretty flexible. So we work with clients, they just need strategy. So they have someone on their team that can do the work. They just need more of like, hey, can you send us a report every month or every quarter? We get together. What has worked, what hasn't worked? Here's a strategy for the next certain period of time. And then we have check-in calls. So it's you can think of it more like coaching or strategic focused. And then there's people that need support in the actual implementation of the plan, whether that is literally scheduling out the social posts, creating copy for the newsletter, even creating the newsletter and scheduling it to go out. So it's pretty flexible depending on what your team needs are. Because some people do have like the graphic designer, they have someone to do these tasks. It's just more along lines of what does that strategic plan look like? And how do we track it, right? How do we actually see if it's working? So that's how Rebel works. I would say if you mentioned that you wear a lot of the hats. If any of the stuff out of everything that we talked about, Izzy might have a different opinion. Out of everything that we talked about, I would say look at your email list, segment it, see if you can tag them in different ways. Like if I'm on your email list, I might be a potential client because I haven't purchased yet, but I might also be tagged as a referral source. And then see what value you can send them. It doesn't have to be every single week. Just what of value can this particular person receive? What case study do we have that they might not have seen yet? And then we can send to them, but it actually pertains to their industry, something that they might be interested in. Yeah.
Okay.
Email is gold. I know
It is.
when I first started, it was website. I did websites, but honestly, if you have a robust email list, your website could go down and you could technically still sell through email.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any thoughts,
Okay,
Izzy?
Izzy.
What'd you
You've
say?
been over there checking everything out. What
Yeah.
did you learn about the back end of my website by looking at it?
You use WordPress?
Is that good, bad, or
um,
indifferent?
That's fine.
Indifferent. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all
yeah.
good. Um, yeah, I would definitely agree with email. And then even if you could just start posting, I think little things on like just building yourself up to trying something new on social. Um, it doesn't have to be like a super edited video or anything, but I think just making it a little bit more personal,
Mhm.
um, I think can go a long way. So I'm not saying you have to like post every day or anything, but if you're looking for like small little things to implement, I would definitely just try to be personal about your business because I think that's what people are specifically looking for nowadays.
Yeah.
Um, that's yeah, how I
Yeah,
feel.
because yeah, I agree, Izzy, because she's selling you're not just doing an item, you're selling that this strategy, that white glove service.
Yeah.
So I want to know like who am I going to be working with or what kind of company? What's the vibe like, right? Are they stuffy and annoying or are they fun?
So let's talk about what kind of video. So I have this project going on, too late for my last project, so I'll throw out this one. Um, so we do work with NECO, which is a foster care company. So they do other things as well, but we do recruitment kits. And so for Christmas, we are going to ship out next week because they need to have kids in homes before Christmas. So they do it at Halloween. We're shipping out holiday Christmas tags for Christmas trees, the hang up that you need to buy gifts and give them away. Uh, tissue, tissues, packs of tissues, first aid kits, brochures for them to take to trunk or treats. And so we've helped them print the brochure. We've sourced all the different products that they've had. And now we're going to kit them all together and ship them out to all the different people that do recruitment. So, is the video of the person that's actually doing all the kitting in the box and talking about it while they're doing the kitting and featuring like that? Because then that lets you see behind the scenes, or is it just a video of, I don't know. So, I would say that's something that's just a unique little project. So, part of my problem is I'm always looking for something unique. But I could do a video of us cutting a sheet of paper that has 32 different business cards on it as well. Um, so what
I think,
things do I capture for the video?
well, like just like you gave the example, I think that would be great. And then if you did a voiceover it and explaining like what you're doing and like why this is going to help, like especially their cause, and then you can tag them as well. And I think you already have a great, great
Hmm.
social media post right there. And then again, you could do little packing up my order
Yeah.
videos too. Like people find anything entertaining really as long as like there's a story behind it and it catches their attention probably in the first like 3 to 5 seconds. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. The
That's
video
a
does
lot of
not
stuff
have to
in
be
3 to 5
long.
seconds.
Yeah, the video doesn't have to be long. It could be, do you know what B-roll is?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so like just background video, like you
Yeah.
could just literally during the entire process of this project take B-roll, right? And you can either splice it together. Video does not have to be long. Let's say you are posting this on LinkedIn. Have you seen the How It's Made, those How It's Made videos? Or there's a show
No,
called, I
but I
think
can
that's,
envision it.
yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
So
old,
like
so I can
they
envision
go,
it.
yeah, they go
No.
into like they go into like cookie factories or whatever, and they show you how it's made. Um, you could literally just take all of that B-roll of just like the entire project, and then at the end of the project, you can start to decipher which clips you like best. But you could probably get like at least 5 different videos, short videos. Some can have music, some could be more of like a wrap up of the entire project, so all the clips together with your voiceover. Um, and then some could literally just be like like a wrapping up video of like the project being completed, whether you're putting it in a box or something and being and shipping it out. Like all of, I'm assuming it's going to be a ton of boxes. So how, if you have, I don't, and I'm just pretending to know, if you have a forklift and the forklift now is putting it into the truck or whatever, those kind people love those kinds of behind the scenes. They like to see the tea, the gossip, whatever you want to call it, behind the scenes. They like to know what goes on, um, because it like demystifies it for them, and it showcases even if your employees are not the ones speaking. I'm like, oh, cool. Like there was this dude on a forklift, and he just did all these things, and it's for Neko, and it's like super cool, and these kids are gonna enjoy it so much, right? Um, so I think that would be, yeah, you could get so many videos.
Mhm.
You just have to remember to and it could be cell phone, like, don't overthink this. It could literally be cell phone videos. You could do the voiceover after everything's done, like, just take 30-second videos of the project. Um, yeah, I think people tend to want this really professional, crisp video, which is great. You can use that on social, but sometimes you just need, like, somebody's hands packaging up these amazing things, right?
Voiceover scares me, by the way. That sounds like a lot of work. I'd be okay if you said, "Hey, just go out and talk while you're videotaping it and send it out." But taping it and then going back and putting a voiceover. That sounds like a lot of
You
work.
could
To
do the other way
somebody
too.
who said that.
Yeah.
Whatever is in your comfort level. I would say just it gets started and see what worked, what resonated with people, and then pivot that way.
I thought for sure you were going to say, no, Rebel can help you with that.
Oh, yes, Rebel can totally help you with that.
Well, we can.
Like if I take the videos, can Rebel help me pick out like the
Yes.
next 30 seconds for
Yeah.
what to put on social?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. We've done that before. People have sent in like all the like if they're at a speaking engagement, they took clips. They just send them over to Izzy. Izzy's the one that cuts them and makes them look
Yeah.
profesh. Yeah.
I clip all the podcasts and all of the speaking events.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes, definitely.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a lot of great information.
Yeah. Do
I'm not
you
gonna
so
lie,
we're
I'm a little
running
more nervous, but I'm a little more educated.
I mean,
Everybody
if you
said for years, people have said we need to get videos, and we struggle just to get photos. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
but I think if I put it on my radar to take the videos, I walk through the plant multiple times a day, so I could easily get videos as long as
Yeah.
they don't have to be high quality.
Yeah, they don't have to be. And honestly, even if you're like me and you take photos of events and then 2 months later you realize you didn't post them, you can still post them. Just like if for especially for events, you can always in the caption be like, this was such a great event. Here's a look back at this conference I went to. For some of your projects, it might not necessarily have well, the holiday one, but if some of those projects you could even reuse the next year. So those clips.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say some entrepreneurs forget to post and then they feel bad about it. They're like, I took the picture, I took the video, and now I have to throw it out. Don't throw it out. Save it for next time. Repurpose that content. You worked hard for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels good.
Yeah. I would say email. If you anything that you got out of this, email. You have a really nice list of people, segmenting them, tagging them, whatever you want to call it, and then give sending those people value will be, I think, get you those repeat customers.
And you think emailing people will say every 6 weeks, because not once a month, but not once a quarter.
Yeah,
Is
that way it's easy on you. Um, and I'm assuming the orders are larger and it's not like they need something every week. But if it's something of value for them, it's more likely that they'll open it versus if I get something about, I don't know, what would I get that I might not be interested in? So, like the latest bars in Columbus, I can't drink right now. Why am I going to get that email?
right,
Right?
right.
That's going to go in this trash. But if Izzy gets that, maybe she would open it. So it's like knowing your audience and who's already on your list. Yeah.
Sounds
And
like
you
a
look
good
overwhelmed.
CRM. It's on our radar.
Yes. Yes. A CRM would be helpful. Mhm.
Okay.
All right. So that is the time we have today. You
Yep.
might be able to come back, or maybe we'll have you on Market Like It's Hot and we can talk about delegation and your coaching business.
Okay, perfect. Fantastic.
All
And I'll
right.
report back to how successful we are being with our new segmented emails. I like that. If I get just segmented emails, then I'm
Yeah.
not just getting everybody with useless information.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do
All
that
right.
and more me.
So where can we find you before we sign off?
Mhm.
evo-creative.com is my website. So E's and over, B as in Victor, O as in Oscar, creative.com. Or you can email me. You can see my name on the screen because it's got lots of N's in it. Cathy.Lindemann at evo-creative.com as well. Or you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining. And yeah, we'll see you next month.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.